Hey there, it's Sho here for our journey into the Bible today. Just a reminder, if you are a first-time visitor here, I hope that you would go and visit the Getting Started section of the website so that you understand what our strategy is and what we're trying to accomplish here with this project and with these videos. If you're a regular, I'm so glad that you've come back, and I hope that you are finding what you are looking for, getting into the Bible alone by yourself and just seeing what God has to teach you. I'm here outside today. It's a very pretty day. There are some bugs flying around in the pretty purple flowers, so hopefully if you see me scream and run off, you'll know that they got a little bit too close. But otherwise, I think everything's going to be fine, and it's a really pretty backdrop, these purple flowers are. So anyway, just a reminder, our theme as we work through Matthew is elevating man over God, or are we elevating God over man? So that's the filter that we're reading through. So we're going to go ahead and jump on into Matthew 2. Now, Matthew 2 opens up with the wise men visiting Jerusalem in the area of Judea. We're going to see immediately, I was struck that they are going to be offered two sets of instructions, and so they're going to have a choice to choose from. So the first one they're going to see is when they actually stop by to visit King Herod. I don't know if it was a diplomatic visit or if it was just out of courtesy because they were foreign visitors coming into his kingdom, into his area. But whatever the reason, they stopped and they shared with him what their mission was, that they were looking for a special child that had been born, that they were seeking him, that they wanted to pay homage. Well, King Herod was very disturbed at this, and upon doing some checking with some of the scribes and the experts, the Jewish experts, he found out that a child was going to be born that was going to be very instrumental and be like a leader to the Jewish people. Now, Herod was a very jealous ruler, and he wanted to eliminate anything or any person that he saw as a threat. And this new baby, or this baby that the wise men were seeking, had become a threat. So he figured out, he's going, I got to do something. I got to get rid of this child and probably even kill him because he was not above that. So he came up with a ruse, and so he told the wise men, he said, yes, yes, go and find this child, but when you do, be sure you come back and tell me where he's at so that I can go worship him and pay him homage. But he wasn't going to do that. He wanted to harm the child. So the wise men went ahead and went on their way, and they did indeed find Jesus. They found him with his mother, and they did the celebration. They did what they had planned to. They offered him his gifts and all those good things. And that night, when they went to sleep, in a dream, they were given a warning to not go back the way that they had come and go by and see Herod, but they were warned to pick another route home. So that was the choice that they were given. Herod told them, come back and tell me when you find the child. And another dream told them, don't go back, avoid this man. So they made the choice to go ahead and go back by a different route, and they didn't even stop by Herod's. I don't know if they realized that they had just elevated God over man by bypassing Herod, but they did. And as a result of elevating God over man, that choice helped keep Jesus out of imminent danger. Now, when I look at that, that helps me realize, it's just a reminder for me that I too face that choice. I can choose who I'm going to elevate. I can choose to elevate God, or I can choose to elevate man. I'd like to say that I'm going to choose to elevate God every time, but I'm probably not, just simply because I'm not perfect. But remembering this story is kind of God's way of reminding me so that I can have that thought in my head so that I'll be more likely to at least stop and think about it and choose God over man when it comes time for me to have actions or to do something where that choice is given to me. So that's it pretty much for that section. Right after that, though, we see Joseph takes the spotlight again. And he is sleeping one night, and all of a sudden, in a dream, an angel of the Lord tells him, get up, leave, and go to Egypt. Well, we see from chapter 1, or we know from chapter 1, that Joseph was obedient to what the angel of the Lord had told him to do, and he went ahead and married Mary, even though she was with child. And we see what happened there. So we kind of get a sense that he's one that really is ready to elevate God over man. And he most certainly does that. But even tonight, it's like, more specifically, he elevated God over himself. You know, think about it. If you had a dream like that, or you got a call, an angel of God, it'd be nice. I'd like to sit here and think, oh yeah, let's get up and let's go right now. Let's go. But no, I can also see me saying, okay, I will address that in the morning. You know, got to have some breakfast, got to do some packing, and then we'll go ahead and we'll flee to Egypt. But no, Joseph did it right away. He got up and that night he fled. Well, a little bit later in the text, we see that Herod figures out that the wise men bypassed him, and he was very angry. He was very mad. I don't know if Joseph fleeing in the middle of the night, I don't know if Herod got mad that next morning and made the decree to kill all of the boys 2 years and under. I don't know if that happened the following day, but if it did, Joseph and Mary were already gone and they had taken Jesus and they got him safe when this happened. So we see that Joseph, by getting up and leaving as quickly as he did, whether it happened that day or 2 days after or even a week after, his willingness to follow God really took Jesus out of harm's way again. And that is really a great reminder for me that when I choose God over man, that it's not always going to be the most convenient for me. Sometimes it's not going to be the easy choice. It's not going to be the convenient choice, but it's always going to be the right choice when we elevate God over man. So that's pretty much what I took out of these verses in Matthew 2. I will say that as I went ahead and read through the rest of the chapter, nothing really stood out at me or stood out to me as far as, lessons that I was to learn. But still, you go through the rest of the chapter and it finishes out with Joseph getting the call to return back to Galilee from Egypt. So we see again that Joseph gets the call, and who knows, he may have been really well established in Egypt. They may have had really good friends. You just don't know. But there he stood up and he was obedient again. So really, I never thought about how obedient Joseph was throughout the journey of Jesus as a young child. But he really was. He helped prophecy play out just as God had planned it. God really picked a good instrument. Even though Joseph, I'm sure, wasn't perfect, Joseph really stood up and elevated God over man and over himself, over man's traditions, over society's culture. He really did all of that, and it paid off big because he was immortalized in the Bible. I'm sure that's not what he was going for. But more so than anything, he helped prophecy come true, and he helped protect the Messiah who came to die for every person here on earth to save us from our sins. So anyways, pretty good stuff in Matthew 2. As usual, I would love to hear what was brought out and what lessons or revelations or insights that God gave to you. So if you'd like, go to the contact section on my website and let me know your thoughts. And you can even go to send me an email via intothebible@gmail.com. Well, thanks for joining me, and I hope that I'll see you again when we decide, or not decide, but when I sit down and we go through Matthew 3. Thanks, and I will see you next time.